Good morning, Vicky.
Welcome to the Ashes to Rubies conversational podcast on life and recovery. We're your cheesy hosts, John and Vicky.
John and Vicky, Ruby.
We're going to do a little reading. We're going to do a little chatting. We're going to give you something to think about for the rest of the day.
Take it into meditation. One of the thoughts that I had today, because something provoked it over in that corner, I thought to myself, and I thought I'd ask you this question. What one thing do you wish you could do better or do better, but you don't want to do anything about it? Is there a thing?
My physical health.
But you're doing something about it. You're doing. I saw you working out this morning. Very impressive, by the way.
I don't know.
Mine's reading.
Oh.
So I saw a book that I started, and I was 3 pages in. And that was like literally a month ago. And it's a really interesting book. And I don't know, like, I feel like I'm a bad person because I'm not a reader. And then I use my dyslexia to like go, oh yeah, it's like work to
have an excuse.
Yeah, it's an excuse. If that's how you want to put it so bluntly. It's an excuse. And then it's like, is it really, like, in my thinking, it's of high value to society. So people have a high value on books and learning and
knowledge,
reading. Yeah. So then, yeah. But I don't do anything about it. Like, I wish I could set aside,
I wish I could do calligraphy. I wish I could make like beautiful cards, like, and then I started trying to do calligraphy.
And it's just a bunch of ink on a paper.
It's like really hard.
And you're left-handed.
And I'm left-handed, so and like, it's just.
Did you know that your boy John Ruby was in the calligraphy club in public school? I believe it was grade 6. I was in the calligraphy club.
That is something I didn't know about you.
I was in the calligraphy club. I remember it well. Yeah. I don't remember it as well as I needed to be a calligraphist. Wow. Is that a word? What would you suggest?
Oh.
I think we're okay. What would you suggest for somebody like me that has the value, sees the purpose? What would you say to me to encourage me to read? Like, is there a process that you would help me with? Is there, how would you do that? How would you invoke that in me?
I would say start small,
set aside time.
Yeah, just like a
daily
couple
or
pages.
Weekly?
Yeah, a couple pages before bed is a really good time.
Oh, not before bed.
Just a couple pages
before bed.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know why I love? Okay, so if I'm reading a really hard book,
what do you mean by hard?
If I'm like a thinking book, if I'm reading a thinking book,
what's the difference? Like, is there a non-thinking book?
A novel book, but if I'm reading like a thinking book, like a book where you're like learning or paying attention, especially like just to read a couple pages before bed, because then you get like a nugget to think about, and then you put it away and you go to bed, and you go to bed thinking about that. And if it's like not crazy interesting, then maybe it'll make you sleepy.
So I have a book, and it was over in that corner, and I'm going to bring it up by my bed, and I am going to try to read 3-5 pages every night before bed.
Like, even if you read 2 pages.
Okay.
Seriously, like, even if you read 2 pages, no big deal.
I used to read comic books, and then the Hardy Boys, and then Willard Price. Do you know Willard Price?
No.
It's these people in Africa, and I don't know if they were missionaries, but they have adventures. The Willard Price. Hardy Boys, we read all of them. My dad collected them for us.
I did a lot of reading.
And then Asterix and Obelix and Tintin.
Didn't do all that reading your dad read to you guys.
No, I was forced.
Really?
I had to read the Hardy Boys. And then my brother could sit in a corner and read 18 of them in like a day. And I'm like crying reading a chapter because I was forced to read. But that's the whole societal value about reading. You have to be read.
But it is really important.
And you have to quote authors and all this stuff. Thank goodness for Google. All right.
Good morning, Megan.
Good morning. Megan, or anybody listening, what do you feel that there is a high value for that you don't do that you wish you wanted to do, that you would like to implement in your life? Mine was reading Vicky's is calligraphy.
There's no high value for calligraphy in society.
No, but writing there is.
It's more like a
the
hobby.
kids nowadays are like, you know what they used to do this cursive,
No.
and everybody
Can't
like
read
types.
cursive.
Yeah, no one can read cursive anymore. I remember when I came back from Asia, they were all doing cursive, and I didn't do the cursive. I was just printing. I had to stay in for extra help.
Oh, sad.
What day is it?
The 25th. It is
Is this a question? I'm so grateful that I'm not reading this one right now.
Have I ever accomplished anything good while my emotions were churning with hysteria? I have an answer for that. Am I aware that reacting on impulse, saying the first thing that pops into my head, defeats my own purposes? I couldn't lose by stopping to think. Easy does it. Wouldn't any crisis shrink to manageable size if I could wait a little while to figure out what is best to do? Unless I'm sure I'm pouring oil on troubled waters and not on a raging fire, it might be best to do and say nothing until things calm down. Easy does it. Today's reminder: it may take a bit of self-control to back away from conflict and confusion, but it's wonderful protection for my peace of mind. Unless I can say or do something to quell the storm, I'll only be inflicting punishment on myself. And each little battle I win with myself makes the next one easier. Take it easy, for easy does it. It will all seem much less important tomorrow. Quietness is a great ally, my friend. As long as I keep my poise, I will do nothing to make bad matters worse.
Easy does it, fam. That sounds like it's harder than reading a book.
So for me, when I was getting started in this last year and a half, I would pause and ask. So it was pause and ask. And so how do I pause, take a deep breath, and ask, like, what's happening here right now? What am I reacting to? What's the problem?
Trying to get an internal temperature.
Mm-hmm. And so, I'd be like, pause and ask was my motto. And then, I don't have the power on my own to like not react to this situation. And so I would have to ask God to give me power. I need power like outside of me to like be able to not react
to lower the red line down. I like the imagery that they talked about: oil and water, and then oil and fire.
Right.
And I think that's a cool image. I don't fully understand it. But then I was reminded of...
You don't fully understand what it looks like to pour oil on a raging fire?
No, I get that part of it. But if I put oil on something, then it's soothing. It's
if I just put oil on troubled waters, it's just gonna be...
It calms
it's just gonna...
It floats on top.
Will it actually calm it, or will it just... I don't know if it will actually calm it, or will it just like float on top?
It'll float on top. Yeah. So that's what I mean. It's a different image, but it's not It's not causing.
It's not going to
explosive.
Explode. Yeah.
But then I'm thinking of my parents' reaction to a question of if you could change anything in your life, what would you do? And my mom said, I would not react to mean anything. I wouldn't make the little things so hard.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be so reactionary. What did she say?
Everything's not as important as I thought it was.
Yeah.
Everything. Like some things are as important as they really are. But not everything is as important as I think it is in that moment.
And not everything has to come out of our mouths.
Yeah, especially when we look back 10 years ago. Did I freak out and scream and yell at my kid? And really, like, I could have taken a deep breath and, reflected on
So then you have this set of values. So one of them is family time. That's a pretty across the board family value. But then as a man, a lot of the times we have this value of hard work pays off. And it does. It's not a lie. But is your child going to remember all the hard work that you did and the money that you made, or the time that you spent with them from the ages of 1 through 15, or the overtime that you did so you could whatever? I think that's implementing a spiritual principle of easy does it. Just taking it easy in all of my life, not having a hard like I think of the slave driver. I have a hard life. Everything's hard. I go hard. I chug life. I just want to. It all pays off, and so that might be an addictive principle in a lifestyle of addiction. But then in a spiritual principle in a spiritual life that we are trying to pursue is, can I take it easy? Because does taking it easy actually pay off? Yes, it does. Because my relationships are good.
That leads into like the actually next thing that I wanted to bring up, which was the line that says here, and each little battle that I win with myself makes the next one easier. And so I think that's exactly what you were saying. Like every time I make a different choice, or every time I can pause and ask, or every time I don't react right away, or if I realize that I'm full of resentment and fear, and then I call somebody instead of like just spring. Those are big battles at the beginning.
Good stuff. The meditation today is, am I taking it too hard, or am I living the spiritual life of taking it easy? As Easy E once said, easy does it. Keep the peace, be of good behavior, wash your hands, love the world around you.